All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of January, 2025, and this is the Cluster API Office Hours meeting. Cluster API is a sub-project of Kubernetes SIGs, and as such, we follow their meeting guidelines, which can essentially be summarized as please treat everyone as you would expect to be treated, or explicitly so, please be kind to each other. And if you'd like to talk, please raise your hand and I will call on. At the beginning of our meetings, we like to make some time for new attendees or new community members to introduce themselves. So I will be quiet, and if that sounds like something you would like to do, please either raise your hand or unmute yourself and say hi to everybody.
I'm looking for the hand raising button, but I can't find it.
Go ahead, Corey, you're all set.
Well, I think I've joined this meeting once or twice, many months ago. I'm Corey Sherman from the University of Wisconsin. Um, just here kind of to listen. It's Cluster API isn't something we have in production. I've been following it for a long time. I've contributed to many other projects, KubeVirt, Falco, two others. But I'm just a lot of work to do. So I'm just here to learn and listen, and happy to be here. So thank you all.
Awesome. Great to have you here, Corey, and welcome. All right, I am not seeing any other hands raising or mics unmuting, so we will move forward in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's look at our open proposals to see if there are any that need updating. We've got the in-place updates and the node provisioning work group. I guess Guillermo or Tilo, are there any updates that we should hear about there?
Yeah, actually, node provisioning. So I'm just speaking up for Yohanan today. He's based in Israel, so he didn't join because it's very late for him. But he'll share a few news with you folks in the Cluster API Slack channel soon. He actually has a working kind of prototype-ish thing hacked on over the festive days. And so far, Flatcar's booting. There's some initial separation. He has some minor proposals in how to proceed. I'm not too Kubernetes literal, but he mentioned some config maps or some additions he'd like to discuss introducing. So he'll reach out to you, and that's pretty much our update. So there has been quite a bit of progress over the last 2 weeks, and yeah, our next sync meeting is next week Thursday.
That is great to hear, and I'm excited on the possibility that we might have a demo or something in the near future. But yeah, that's great that Johanna was able to make that progress. So thank you. Does anyone have comments to make on the in-place updates? I don't see Guillermo here. I don't know if anybody else was looking into that. All right, well, we will move forward then. Okay, so let's get into our discussion topics. The first one we have is from Fabrizio, and he's got a few notes on the latest patch releases. So please, Fabrizio.
Yep. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. During the Christmas break, we cut 2 releases. I want just to give you a little bit of context. So the first one was 1.9.2. And why we cut this release? Because basically we discovered that the new changes for v1 beta 2 condition were causing some noise, in the sense that now we have all this information that bubble up to the cluster, and so there was things like cluster or topology controller that were reconciling a lot more than before. And so what we did is that we did a couple of changes to improve basically our predicates, and so now we are reconciled even less than before, because we are not reconciling I don't know, when there is a resync on watch object and stuff like that. So those was I think that was a couple of interesting changes. If someone wants info, please feel free to reach out. And this was 1.9.2. Then there was also 1.9.3 where which was caused because in 1.9.2 we exposed a method. This method was using internal type, and unfortunately we did not discover this during release because yeah, we are testing this, but from a test module, which is a different Go module, but it seems that Go module and imports do are not the same boundary, and so basically we did not recognize the issue, but we recognize a little bit later the release. So we did 1.9.3 just to make this new to this type visible from the outside. So yeah, this was those was the changes I think that were interesting and yep. So if there are questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting us know about this, and also thanks to all the folks who got involved in those like kind of patches and releases, keeping the lights on over the holiday period. Does anyone have questions or comments about that for Fabrizio or anyone else? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands going up. Thank you, Christian, for putting in links to the releases as well. All right. Next topic, Daniil, you've got a topic about cluster referencing CC in a different namespace. So please, Daniil.
Hey, yeah. So I just wanted to ask for a review. I think it's supposed to be all addressed in terms of comments to implement the class namespace field in the topology. There's also an issue for V1 Beta 2 addition where the field might change to something more appropriate. So please take a look. And I was also thinking to ask if it's possible to backport this to 1.9 branch after merge. I remember it was discussed on one of the previous meetings as well as one of the possibilities. Thanks, Stefan. I also opened a follow-up PR because I didn't want to add some changes on top of this one to integrate with class.stl move command, which should also work for multi-namespace cluster classes references. So yeah, that's an update.
Cool. Thank you, Daniil. And it looks like, yeah, Stefan is saying he can take a look once he digs out from his post-PTO backlog. Probably lots of emails to uncover there. Does anyone else have questions or comments about this pull request? Yeah, hundreds of GitHub notifications, I can imagine. Okay, Fabrizio, please.
Yeah, let me say the same for Stefan applied to me as well. And I just want to bring it up again that one of the things that we would like to address in Cluster API is that we are losing over time, or let me say, due to natural rotation, people going to do different stuff, etc., etc. Let me say, the former team of reviewer is not active anymore. So, and we have basically most of the work to review, approve PR, get the project working is on a few maintainer, and this is sort of a bottleneck. And if you like numbers, let me say over PTO where over Christians where me, Christian, and Stefan had some PTO, we went up from 30 PR to 45. Now we are working, we are back to 40, we will go down, try to close some of them. But this is basically the effect of the fact that all the review work is only on a small set of folks, and things will be much way better if we can get back to the situation where yes, Stefan, yes, we are talking about OpenPR only in the CAPI repo. So if we can have, like we had a few months ago, a set of folks that make a first triage and the first pass on all the PRs, this will make the work of the maintainer much easier. Because we jump on a PR when it's already in a good state, and then we can basically give the final push. So there is huge opportunity. If you are interested, just start looking at PR, provide feedback. Nothing prevents anyone from doing the reviews. So just a PSA, we need help.
Yeah, I think that's a great PSA, and I think an important note that you don't need to be an expert. Your opinion can be helpful, even if you're not fully aware of all the code and everything. So I'm just making note of that here. And yeah, I think it also highlights kind of that classic XKCD drawing where it's like everything's leaning on that one pillar or whatever, and it's like that one. So the holiday break is kind of an interesting test of that, and I think the data that you brought up here is interesting as well. So thank you for sharing that with us, Fabrizio. And Daniil, thank you for bringing your issue up as well. Does anyone else have kind of questions or comments about either Daniil's PR or the topic that Fabrizio just brought up? Yeah, right. It's like Stefan says, especially if you stack the pillars like CAPI plus controller runtime. That's we know what a change in controller runtime can mean for everyone, right? Okay, I am not seeing any hands going up or further comments coming in from the chat, so we will move along. We have a pretty light agenda today, but I guess that's good coming back from the new year. It gives folks a chance to do more of that digging out. So we have no more provider updates. One feature group update. We'll be meeting for the Carpenter feature group in about 45 minutes from now. We have a couple topics to discuss, and we're trying to keep it updated with the cluster API updates, but also the Carpenter updates. So we've got two dependent projects to keep up with now. So come by and chat if you'd like to. And unless someone has an ad hoc topic they'd like to bring up or something we didn't cover, I think we can take back about 44, 43 minutes of our day here. So going once, going twice. All right. We will call this a meeting and see you all next week, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye, guys.